Hello Deathmatchers, welcome to my Fuji build order guide. This build order is inspired by Volt, who showed it to a few people about a month ago, so I don't take credit for coming up with it. With this build order, you can get a fast 2-minute 33rd TC timing if your opponent is slow to harass it. It's also the fastest paced opener in Deathmatch in my opinion. It may look difficult to get it up to speed at first, but with a little bit of practice versus computers, it doesn't take long before you acquire the required speed. Now, this strategy works really well versus all civs, except for Isis and Ra due to the mercenaries. I also won't be talking too in depth about the minor god choices with Fuji, because it would take a while, and the god itself isn't quite 100% figured out, but this build seems quite strong and a very good base point to becoming a great Fuji player, as well as practices your hotkey speed.
有什么吩咐？准备好了，出发好的，出发。是的，出发了。有什么吩咐？好的，是吗？出发。有什么吩咐？命。
什么是好的？出发。
有什么吩咐？命。什么事？出发。
是的，好的，是的，好的。
是吗？遵命。
有什么吩咐？遵命。
是吗？是的，出发。
什么是？是的。
准备好了。是的。什么是的？有什么吩咐？好的。有什么吩咐？准备好了。是的。
是的。遵命。
准备好了。好的。
是吗？遵命。是的。
请下命令，遵命。
准备好了。好的。什么事？出发。
是的，是的。 遵命，遵命。
出发，出发，准备好了。好的，好的。
有什么吩咐？有什么吩咐？出发。
准备好了，出发。什么事？遵命。出发，遵命。
是吗？好的。是的，出发。出发。命。 是出发。好的。
So the very first thing you do when the game starts is you click your town center and build a villager. Then make a temple with all your villagers except one who builds the houses. Now, house position matters with Fuji because you want your villagers to be as efficient in time as possible, or else they won't finish the houses in time before you get pop capped. I personally like to make a semicircle around my base, which also allows me the option to place farms around my main TC, and I also empower all of them to build quicker. After that, I select 8 of my villagers and send them to my 3rd town center. Once you advance to the classical age, make sure you empower your armory to be able to build it as quick as possible. Start auto-queuing some immortals and send 2 to your 2nd TC. Your 2nd TC, Vil, then builds its empowered tower. Take a second to plan your build order in advance. And then you can start your 3rd TC barrack block. When doing your barrack block, try to build towards the sides at first, and wrap around the TC in order to not block your villagers as they're moving forward to avoid situations like this. Try to leave 2 gaps in between your barrack segments if possible, in order to later on block completely with your fortresses. After you're done placing your mixture of 6 barracks and stables, send the remaining 2 villagers to build 2 towers. Make sure everything is empowered after each villager is busy building something. At this moment, you should have a few seconds to micro your scout cav and set up production building control groups. Once your armory is done, advance to the heroic age and continue training immortals on auto queue. This time, however, send them towards your 3rd town center to join in the fight. Send a villager to then make a market so that you could advance to the myth gauge. And then you can shift your second TC vil to make a fortress at your second TC and empower that as well. Once your barracks and stables are complete, start auto-queuing Chuko Nu and Halberdiers from your barracks, and shift-click Scout Cav from your stables once. This will give you 10 to 20 Scout Cav depending on how many stables you built to harass your opponent's villagers. Place 3 more empowered fortresses, 2 in the gaps you left between your barracks, as well as 1 behind your barrack block in the direction that your opponent is more likely to send their army. For example, I'm anticipating my opponent is building his barracks at his top right TC, so I build my last fortress on the top side of the block to better defend the right side. This isn't too important because you'll be walling off behind your third TC eventually anyways. Once you reach the mythic age, start auto-queuing villagers and then send them towards your second TC to start that one. Lastly, when your house villager is complete building his houses, he can then be tasked to gardens. And once the gardens are placed, the game becomes more complex, so I'll leave the builder right there. In general, after this point, you want to switch towards a heavy fortress unit combo with generals, immortals, fire lancers, war chariots, sitting tigers, kind of a combo of those as needed. Splash in some cataphracts as well versus heavy infantry civilizations such as Greek and Norse. And you will also want to turn off auto queue on all but 1 stable and 1 barrack as soon as you reach a maximum population size. This will ensure that you're not spamming too many useless units and allow more important units to complete, such as Azure Dragons and the 3 pop fortress units. Thanks for watching my Fuji build order guide. If you want more videos like this, hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you.